welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And it is March. Happy March. I just saw on Instagram a story of a guy who started on March 1st, which was yesterday for us, running from Santa Monica Pier to New York City.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump style, but he's trying to break a record of 40 days. So 75 miles a day. It's pretty cool. He's running for a charity for a veterans, mental health kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I was like, oh, I caught it right at the beginning. I saw it this morning. So he's been running for a day, and he's not going to come through Phoenix. He's going north through Prescott, and I saw Flagstaff. And then in New Mexico, Taos, and Espanola and Taos. Huh?
He's not running across 10? I mean, that area?
No. I think he's running on smaller roads. I don't know. I haven't seen the actual map. I kind of looked at the map earlier to see. But anyway, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the name of the channel. I'm sorry to tell you how to follow him. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought about Forrest Gump. I was like, Forrest Gump style.
Did you see about a whole pack of puppies that were left on South Mountain? And there's video of the SUV that left them there leaving. And the poor little puppies are running after and whoever noticed it went over there and rescued the puppies. And so they're...
oh my God.
They're ready for adoption or something like that. But I was just like, you can just take them for free.
You can go leave them anywhere.
Why would you do that?
People are awful.
Especially with all the coyotes and stuff.
Yikes. Anyway, we're back. I think I'm going first. Yes? Am I going first?
Yeah. Okay.
So what I have with me today, I've had a frustrating fiber week. This is Hannah's sweater. I am making progress on it. Slow but steady. You'll see there's the swirls. And here's the beginnings of the flowers. There's the little stems and leaves there. And then I have about maybe one more row before I start the other colors. So that's exciting. So I've been working on that little by little. And the Quartet Socks saga. Okay. One of the quartet members has tiny little feet. I think I talked about this last week. So I made this sock, and it's really tiny. And then I went to make the second sock. But look what happened. Okay, if I put them... Now, I didn't change any settings, but I think that the cam might have slipped. But you'll see there's quite a bit of difference in length here.
And here, too.
And quite a bit of difference in length. Like a whole cuff's difference. This is exact same rows, exact same settings. So I think that it slipped a little bit. I asked my Facebook group, they're like, well, give that second sock time to rest because it might still be stretched out from all the weight and stuff. So I did, but it's still too big. So I bought more yarn and I'm going to make them in one sitting just because you can connect this waist yarn to the next sock and then you just do it all in one sitting so that things hopefully
nothing changes. Yeah.
Hopefully don't change. So that was disappointing and sad. So, and I've been wanting to get those socks out, but I want to do this one first because this is the most challenging. And then my dilemma is, do I actually sew this up and finish this sock and send her 4 socks and say, these are all different sizes, have fun, you have extra socks.
Just in case your foot swells.
Yeah.
Or you grow unevenly.
So that was my sock failure for the day. And so tonight...
I'm sorry. Is that machine like a circle? You remember those knitting machines that we used to have? Is it like a mechanical version of that? And I saw a video of a bigger one, like this big, and the cat was sitting in the middle as it went around and around.
Yes.
So it's that kind of thing.
It's the same. That one is by Addy, the company called Addy, and it's big, like to make like large hats or scarves, and you can also knit knit flat on it. You can knit flat on mine too. You just go back and forth and you just don't go around in a circle. So yeah, that one, it's tabletop and it's about this big around.
And when I saw that, I went, I think that's a knitting machine like Naomi's.
Yeah. Mine is just small for sock circumferences. So tonight is at our church is the favorite things dinner, and you bring 3 copies basically of your favorite thing. So you pick whatever your favorite thing is, and you bring 3 of them. And I was debating and thought about that. The gloves in the bottle. That's actually literally my favorite thing. That lotion. And I thought I could get the small ones for the. There's a price cap on it. So I thought about that, and then yesterday I was like, but really, my favorite thing is yarn. But I can't like make 6 pairs of socks. 3 pairs of socks because that's way more than $10. And so then I thought about these. You remember I made these for you? These pocketbook slippers. You can see the little picture here. It's like it's shaped like a rectangle with almost like a pocketbook, like a little purse with a handle on top. But you put your foot in it.
They're actually quite comfy.
And it stretches out and it fits everybody. And I thought, well, that would be fun. And both my husband and my son were like, you cannot do that. It is Friday evening. You cannot knit 6 of those by tomorrow. I'm like, I bet I could. I bet I could. Well, I can't.
I was saying, can you do that?
I started last night, and here's as far as I got. So this is where you start it, and it increases, and then you start it. It all knits this way. You just do some increases and stuff, and then when you get to the fullest increase, you just do ribbing, and that's why it stretches to fit any foot. See, look at that stretch. And then you knit this, but you knit this for 6. It's a free pattern, by the way. It's called Pocketbook Slippers. You knit this for 6 inches. And then you fold it in half and sew it up the sides here, and then sew these 2 little ends together. So you basically knit 6 inches and then mirror this decrease on the other side, and then sew it together. This was... I was very sleepy knitting when I did this. It's fine, but I'm like, there's no way I can make 6 of these. I should have started last week. And Mark's like, you should have started last week. I'm like, yeah, I just couldn't think. Like, what do I want to take? What's my favorite things? I don't know. And I've been so busy at work, I haven't been able to think about it. So anyway, I'm just going to make these for me. The funny thing about this yarn, I have a crochet pattern for okay, you're going to laugh, a couch for cats.
Yes.
And I thought this would make a beautiful couch. Wouldn't it? Doesn't this look like couch material? Like every couch you've ever owned in the 70s? This brown. But it's a crochet pattern. And in crochet, it is very critical that you be able to read your stitches and know exactly where you are and where you're putting the hook in. And with this, you can see that it's like black and white marling. I did 2 rows, and I'm like, I can't see this. And it's been years I started this, and I would have had that stupid couch finished, but I was like, I can't do that. So I have several skeins of this. And last night when I decided I'm going to knit 6 of these, I just need worsted weight acrylic yarn, because you don't want to make something to walk around the house in, like, I mean, you could. But I didn't want to give somebody I don't know anything but acrylic, right? Because it's washable, blah, blah, blah. And if it gets dirty, it's okay. And also, there was a price point of $10, which if I use a $20 skein of wool, that's not going to work. So anyway, I was like, surely I have a lot of acrylic yarn. I had like boxes and boxes of it. Well, Yarn Snob here purged it all a while ago. I gave a bunch to Hannah. I gave a bunch to Goodwill. And I don't have it anymore. And I was looking all over my craft room, all through my stuff. Like, where is that? I even went to the old, what we call the COVID closet, where we kept all our extra foods and supplies and stuff for a while. we call it the COVID closet. I went in there and I'm like, because I envisioned this, one of those milk crates full of acrylic yarn. And I envisioned it in there and I opened it and it was gone. I'm like, oh yeah. I told Mark, I'm never going to use this. And I got rid of it. So anyway, I still had this for the cat couch, and it will not be a cat couch. And I have several yards of it. I mean, I have like 5 skeins of this. So I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to at least be 2 slippers for me.
So for those of you who are learning to crochet or learning to knit, you should use something light and solid.
Yes. Light colored yarn and solid, because even with variegation in it, it's very hard to, you have to learn how to read your stitches, whether it's knit stitches or crochet stitches. Now, I'm really experienced and I can read these knit stitches even with this marling. But in this beginning section where there's where it's garter stitch, it's very hard for me to read. As experienced as I am. And in crochet, I've crocheted a million trillion things and I could not figure out the stitches with this yarn.
Yeah, and when I used to teach crochet, I always said, buy a skein of yarn and it has to be very light, pastels, white.
Yeah.
I said, because you want to learn how to do this, not sit there getting frustrated.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's like that thing I did for Robert, that I had envisioned it doing it on black fabric, and I wanted a smaller count of fabric, because I wanted it to be a small design. And then I got that piece of black fabric. I thought, oh, this is perfect. It's the right size. It's right, And I'm like, I can't see it.
Well, it's like,
I can't. It looked dense and like fabric you would get, in a shirt or something. I couldn't.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't see the
stitches
at all.
And it's not black fabric. She knows how to stitch on black
Right.
fabric. It was just
Too
that
small.
particular one.
It
She
was
just was like,
it was so tiny.
especially since she was hurrying.
Here's some stash. These are stitch markers, although I kind of am regretting this. They are the light bulb kind. I don't know if you can see. You can see it against my shirt. It's shaped like a light bulb. It's like a safety pin, basically. It has a little, it's got a safety pin type opening. And these are really handy both. I use them all the time. I use them, if you'll see, I have some here on this sock to hold these particular stitches, if you can see them there. So I use them all the time, and I had a whole stash of them, and they disappeared. Like, I have a jar in my cabinet, and the jar has very few left. So I thought, oh, I'll be genius, and I'll go. Now, I know that they sell something similar to this at Hobby Lobby, but lazy me, I was like, I'll just order it on Amazon. And I looked at 3,000 million types of these. I didn't buy it from a yarn company, which maybe I should have. And the reason I'm regretting is that, like, that one fell out. They're really pretty. Like, this is like, you probably can't see it. It's like shiny metal. But the problem is that many of them, the finish on them is rough. You can feel it's not a smooth finish, and I don't like it. I don't know what I think about this. Oh, this is different. Oh, it goes. Whoops! I almost spilled them all over. I did spill them all over the table. Anyway, I jury's out on how I feel about them, because they're a little bit rough, and I don't want them like if I were to use them in this, I don't want them snagging my yarn.
Yeah.
And if the paint on them is going to snag my yarn, then they're right out. So, but they're
if
they're
you
nice.
just got them and you haven't used any of them, they're all still there. Just return them.
Maybe I will.
I was gonna say one of those videos. I think I sent it
I haven't
to
used
you.
any of them.
The one that says, "I'm a knitter, so naturally I have
Stitch markers on the couch. Yeah.
everywhere."
Everywhere. And I literally don't know where they've all gone. I have a little box.
Have you asked your cats?
You gave me some.
Yeah, I gave you a few, but still. Anyway, so I may be okay with them. I some of them aren't so bad. I don't know why there's shiny ones, and the shiny ones seem worse. But I'll probably be fine with them. The colors are a little less than, I don't know. They're just new to me, and I'm fussing at them. Okay, and then last week we talked about going to the attic, and I went and they made me buy this. No, I'm just kidding. This is a pattern called Christmas at, I'm going to take it out of the bag so it's not so glary. Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And the reason I bought this whole giant thing that I probably will never do, don't laugh at me. That's really pretty. The reason I bought it is because of this bottom corner. It's square 10, and it says, I heard a bird sing in December, a magical thing and sweet to remember. And they had, at the attic, they had just this square in a frame. But they had changed the words a little bit, and I really liked the words they had. It said something like, I heard a bird sing in the dark of December, a magical thing and sweet to remember. And I really liked that, and that's why I wanted to buy it. So I had to buy this whole thing, but it's kind of nice. It's got the Christmas Carol, I heard the bells on Christmas Day. It's got that spread throughout these squares, and it's got some other things like carolers and then a Happy New Year boat kind of thing.
Like that.
And so it's kind of nice. Maybe I'll do it separate.
The Hawthorne Hollow things are always gorgeous. They have, and yeah, some people do just one square or whatever, or but there's a whole series of really interesting designs.
Yeah,
they're all part of
So
that.
I really like this, and I thought even though it was kind of a lot of money, but for this one square that I really wanted. But I thought I could probably get, when I feel in a Christmas spirit, maybe I'll do these. Because I think each square at a time I could tackle and feel okay about.
Look at that.
Yeah, I heard the bells on Christmas Day has a peacock in it. It's really cute. It's really pretty. Yeah. So that was my stash from last week when we went. The knitter bought a cross stitch. So that's fun. Like every other cross stitch pattern I've bought, you'll come see me in a year and I'll say, isn't this pretty? I started this a year ago. Because that's how I am. Anyway, I think that's me.
I forgot to bring the stuff I got at the attic. Because I
Who's
showed it
going
on
next?
I showed it on my channel.
I didn't show it on my channel. I completely forgot. I'll go next. Since I'm making messes and have to undo them right now. So, so I'm moving a thread to the back so it's not hanging out. Never mind. I'm leaving it where it is because it doesn't want to come out. Okay, so I did another FFO. I messed around with it a whole bunch and I just kind of made it very minimal. This is a plastic clear tray. See, clear tray. It's got handles here, but I think maybe at Target. I don't remember where I bought this. I'm wondering if that's crooked. And so I put a little bit of rickrack around this. This is Stitchy Princess Rabbits at the Cafe. And I tried, putting a background color, and I'm like, I just didn't like it. So I took it off. I'm ripping it off the back of the and so I just did it very minimal. And for me, it's like most of mine have tons of stuff on them. But this one, I just put the two little rabbits.
That's cute though.
Well, the design itself is very
It's
active.
so busy that
Yeah.
I think it really leans to the
The
minimal
simple finish, yeah.
I think it's fine. I think it's really fine.
Yeah, that's cute.
It's good.
So that's my finish. I mean, my FFO. And then I failed at cross stitch camp yet again.
Fail. You're out. Can't
Cross-
go to camp anymore.
Cross stitch police are
Not
gonna come
only
and
did
get
I
you.
not remember to bring what I bought at the attic, I have no idea where it is.
That's not good.
I know exactly where mine is because I was thinking, oh, I don't need this hard.
No, it's not over there. Okay, so for Winter Cross Stitch Camp, I was doing Christmas Berry by Erica Michaels. And I am further than I was last week.
I was gonna say, I think you won because you figured it out and you fixed it. So that's winning in my book.
Your tent collapsed and you got kicked out of
Well,
camp.
you know what? If I had stitched it correctly the first time in colors that I liked,
You would have been done.
I probably would have finished.
Yeah.
But as I was, working on this back here, I was like, how much do I really want to finish this right now? I don't. So I stopped working on it. And then I thought I was going to finish, look, I printed it out. Rabbits, Carrots, and Eggs, also Stitchy Princess. And Helen D had done this, and she just did this top part, and so I started thinking about it back then. I think she did it a year ago. And the more I looked at this, the more I was like, it seems like two different pictures. This bunny running sideways toward eggs. Now, I could perhaps do it in my color change thing and still like it. But I was thinking I would just stop with the top half. But I didn't even get that finished. Long story. Which I will tell you right now. So, here's where I am. And on the pattern, this big egg is orange, like the
Yeah, the carrots.
the carrots. It's two different colors of orange. The carrots are only one color of orange, but see the big orange egg? And I thought, well, that's a color. I could make it orange. And the more I thought about it, I was like, maybe not. So I started making it this teal color. I mean, teal. That's not teal. This this burgundy color. And I couldn't figure out what pink I used here. Because, of course, I didn't write it down. And I had another pink, which I used here. And I was like, well, I like that, but what am I going to do in the middle pattern? So I tried a couple of things. I didn't like any of them. And then I tried putting a different color behind instead of white. And I hated that. So I wasted a lot of time doing that. So I didn't even finish. I wanted to at least get that vegetation stripe like this one down on the bottom. And so I may or may not finish this up. It's minimal amount to do, and Easter is very soon. Easter's very early this year. Mm-hmm. and I almost put an Easter thing here, but I remembered Beth had that. Because
So many bunnies.
I love bunnies. And not as much as you. I noticed when I was pulling out stuff for Easter and for finishing that rabbits at the cafe that almost all of my cross stitch are Easter related. Mm-hmm. And the others are Christmas. So yeah. And then I put the box of stuff away, and then I realized Beth was saying something about a city bunny, and I was like, I have a sitting bunny. I left it in the box because, it wasn't Easter yet. So anyway, that is Stitchy Princess Rabbits, Carrots, and Eggs. Yeah, I don't know. I keep looking at that bottom part going, well, maybe I could do... I don't know. So, before I talk to you about my WIP-GO for this month, my temperature chart. Yes. Stitch and Mommy's temperature turtles.
Turtles of consternation.
Yeah. So, other than the definition lines, I have 2 turtles done.
Nice.
And
because February's done.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you can tell by how different the bottom half of this turtle is,
How warm
that
it's
it
been.
has gotten nice and warm.
Yeah.
Some of you guys would probably call it hot. It is not hot.
I still get really chilly in the morning.
Yeah, I'm freezing right now. I am so cold. It's only supposed to get up to 75 today, but it got up to 82 last week. So, and then a tiny little start over here for my March. I worked on this so long yesterday, which is why I didn't finish the Stitchy Princess thing. It's because I am going to get those fins on that turtle. Because today is the last day of the month. So, and then by the time I finished the colors and everything, I was like, I'm not putting those lines on today. Anyway, this turtle is very interesting in color. He's got deeper greens and lighter greens, and it's actually 2 different colors of yellowy orange.
Yeah.
Because it was within the same temperature group all week except for that one day. So, including yesterday. This is the same color as, what I was using mostly there. So that is my temperature chart. And then one of my WIP-GO calls for this month is Holly Jolly Christmas, Erica Michaels. I've already done both the berries, and I am working on, I don't know what you call this.
Wait.
Like a pillow or whatever.
No, she doesn't have
She hasn't finished as a flat fold or something.
Yeah, no.
Or
It's got a little thingy around it, and she had a name for it, but I don't remember what it is. And I have a pattern here somewhere. Whatever. Anyway, I'm working on this part. And I realized that I had, that things weren't matching up as I sat down. I'm working on that today. And so I took it out and fixed the numbers, and then it still wasn't working out right. And then I realized it's the row before that's wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah, and because this is I haven't showed it to you yet. This is 18 count, so the holes are little, and the thread doesn't like coming. Thanks. The thread does not like coming back out again. I probably will destroy the thread as I'm pulling it out, which is really sad because it's not a DMC thread. But I love the variations in this thread. You can really see them.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the only change I made is that instead of using DMC 3820, I used satin gold because the metal is shiny. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm doing a pretty poor job of it. And the other call is Hands-on Design Summer Basket pillows.
Oh, I love those.
Triple play pillows.
I forgot about those.
And I am working on this one right here. And as you recall, for some reason, I started them too close together. And when I cut them apart, there's a tiny bit right there.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to sew some fabric up here
Yeah.
before I can finish it.
Yeah.
But it's not that this is hard. It's just you have to really pay attention because it looks like when you look at the pattern, it looks like all of these things are the same. They're not. Just like on this one, they weren't all the same.
Oh, yeah. Some have outlines, some don't have outlines. Which one are you doing?
This one.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you have to just be very vigilant as to where you are in the pattern because you can't just, oh, I know this one now, so I can do them all, because it's not like that. And I don't know why it's not like that, but it isn't. I think the middle one, the lines are further apart so that it can have these squares. I don't know. But that is a project for a different day, not today. And that is me.
When we went to the attic, I don't have them here to show. I showed them, like I said, on my channel, but not on here. I got Thread Milk Designs has done statehood little squares, and many people have bought, like, all the states they lived in or states they visited or whatever. So I bought I've been looking at them for a long time, and I hadn't seen the New Mexico and Arizona squares, which is what I was interested in. So when we were at the attic, they had them, and so I bought the New Mexico one and the Arizona one, and I'm thinking I might buy the Arkansas one and Indiana, because I went to school in Indiana, in Bloomington. But the Arkansas one for sure, because I lived there for so long. And I thought, well, that'd be interesting, because then I would have 3 A's, the A-R, A, Z, and not the, not
No,
3.
2.
2. I was thinking Albuquerque. But the only thing is, what I find kind of funny is that the New Mexico one had 2 threads listed. I think it had a fancy floss that I bought, Indian Summer, and then it listed a Valdani thread, and Valdani is used a lot for, like, punch needle, things like that, and I think they used to carry it at the attic, but I asked an employee there, and she said that they didn't purchase it or anything like that, I guess. So I think whatever they had there was just what was left, and it was very tiny. I couldn't even read what was, the labels to see what the colors were or whatever. I think it was about Donnie, but anyway. But so I thought, well, I've got lots of. It was like a gray black or something like that, khaki black, I think is what it's called. I thought, well, I've got some lots of different colors. I can figure something out. And because I couldn't really even tell the pattern where it was used, and so when I got home and I was looking at it, the khaki black color is used for like maybe 6 stitches. There's a little chili pepper in the design, and it's used on the stem of the chili pepper. So that surely I can find something to use for that. But the Arizona chart is done in Gloriana silk, which I thought was kind of, interesting and different, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I don't think I'm going to buy the silk for that. I think I'm just going to choose another color of red or something to use for that. But anyway, so I got those 2 at the attic. And I got some threads and stuff that I needed for a couple of other designs. So that was, my trip to the attic. I spent more money than I intended to. I mean, I knew I was going to get threads, but, so anyway, so I worked on, last week I talked about the beaver that I had finished that, the WIP-GO goal for that. I had met the goal, and my secondary, one of my secondary WIPs was the December Rabbit, and then my other main call was Mama Cat. So I had, when I first started this, I had done a little bit of the face and a little bit of this kerchief. So I worked on that, and last week I had just started on one side of the glasses, but so I finished most of this lighter pink color all the way. I did all the way down here, and there's like one little section of this pink right up here on the top of the cat's head. That's where the little kerchief goes around. But it was too far, I'd have to do everything up above on the top of the cat's head before I got to that little section. So I didn't. Is she doing something?
No, she's not. She's just.
But so
checking.
So I worked on this. I finished the green part of the glasses. There's one little darker shade right in the middle here, but it's basically there's some other colors like on the glasses are kind of cat-eyed shaped, but so I didn't have the colors for the little points. I didn't work on the colors for the points there, but so I did most of the outside outline of the glasses, and I did this more of the pink as it goes around here. Finished the cat's this part of the face, the white part, and there's some gray and stuff there. And I finished the nose, and so it's coming on. I did my goal of 7 days working on that, and then so one of my secondary WIPs was this winter cardinal etching from this is by Cecilia Turner of Heart and Hand, and it was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. In 2020, she had 4 designs in there, and I saw for Nashville, for the Nashville Needle Market, which is going on this weekend. She had another etching. I'm assuming in this series, etching. Something about flowers. I don't know if it's wildflower etching or something like that, but there's like 3 flower designs on it. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. I don't know if she's continuing this series. I hadn't really paid attention to know if they were done. But anyway, one of the things I got at the attic was this red, which is cherry cobbler. It's a color and cotton color, and then sticks and twigs is the other color. So I actually finished the cardinal, and I did a couple more of these trees in the sticks and twigs color. So until I just ran out of thread in this one length I had. So it's almost finished actually. I don't know if I'll have time to work on it some more, but there it is. But I really like that fat cardinal. It's really pretty. So then I talked about the December Rabbit last time that I worked on at the beginning of the month, the beginning of February, when I had discovered that I had miscounted at the very beginning and had the bunnies in the wrong place. And so I had not gotten back to it, but then I thought, I'm gonna put it in there and see if it's going to work, because I knew it was going to, there was an error. But so I did the red berries, some of them. There's one berry left, but I got to the end of my thread and didn't want to start on another thread on it. But so I did the berries here, and then I did part of the green around this rabbit, because to see how how the error in there would impact it. And there's one you can just tell, like right here by this thing, there's like the stitch goes right up against it, and there's supposed to be like a space, but it doesn't interfere with it, doesn't and so I think when I put the other one in, it might be something similar to that, but then it won't affect the rest of the design. It'll just be this one little glitchy part right there. But so I finished the bunny's tails. You can't really see them here because they're very close to the same color as the fabric. They're hard to see against the fabric, I should say. But yeah, so I just did a little bit to work all that and see how that would work. And the other, so this is March, and one of my secondary WIPs for March is another rabbit. This one I just decided, I don't have specific months chosen on my chart. It just says a rabbit. So I'm free to choose whichever one I want. And in this particular project bag was the October one that I did, I think in January, I guess. And then this one I did in February, and this one was in it also in the same bag. And this is the August one. So I decided, hey, I'll do August. So I had just started the August one. I had done this one little carrot in the corner where I started, and I had done, I want to say 2 rabbits.
So your rabbits show up. I can barely see them.
Yeah, you can't see them on this fabric. I think
it's awful.
I think yeah. On these models, they used, I want to say, one or either all the same fabric or maybe 1 or 2 different fabrics for all of them, and so I just chose.
I like that better.
Yeah, I just chose fabrics that these are all 32 count Murano Crochet fabric that all these rabbits are done on this fabric that Hobby Lobby briefly carried in all kinds of different colors. So this one is, they had a gray and another color of this checked fabric, and then they had several solid colors. So this is the blue one, slate, I think it was called. But so anyway, I had started the white rabbits on there. The January one I did that I finished was also these white bunnies on this kind of blue fabric, and that's also what this is. This is March, the March rabbit. So this is August. So I just did, the rest of the rabbits coming, worked on the rabbits coming around here, and I did put, like, there's 3 little threads that were in this carrot that are like red, a red color. So I finished them. They're really hard to see because they're very close to the orange color here. But so there's like some carrots and things around here. There's carrots in the corners that are going to go in there. And but I worked on just because it was all the same thread color, and so I worked on these bunnies. But it's hard because the chart. In the chart, they're just like little single dots for the white squares, to show the white squares, and even on the pattern, they're almost impossible to see.
Oh, yeah,
So I had to like stick them up close to my eye.
Okay,
and
can
bright
you
light
your
on them.
scissors?
Yeah.
Monumental.
find
I'm
them.
changing colors. I'm changing colors to the bison. Finally,
So
I made it.
I was working on a
So
I was working on a tiny modernist pattern that I purchased the hard copy, you know, like this. And I worked on a lot of tiny modernist things. And I didn't have any trouble, but they were all PDFs. But on that thing, I'm like, okay, she puts colors behind them, which is great, right? But I couldn't see them. It was so small. And I was like, okay.
It's okay if the pattern, like the finished product is pattern, but I mean tiny, but why does the pattern have to be tiny?
Well, I think they do that to save money so they don't have to charge so much for their pattern.
Save money on printing?
Yeah. 4-color printing, even now with digital printing and stuff, is very expensive. But I'm not surprised. Yeah, good luck with that.
So, like I said, I'm almost done with it. And this is really just one day of stitching on this. Because today is the 2nd, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did this yesterday. So, anyway, that was one of my secondary WIPs. So for upcoming WIP-GO things, apart from this August Rabbit, one of my calls, their calls were 1 and 10, yeah. So one of my calls was this Silver Creek Samplers Give Greatly, which is almost exactly like, very much like the one that Winterful Friends that you did has a snowman, but it has a bunny in a sweater. The snowman has a hat and a scarf, and the bunny's wearing a sweater.
I like that.
And the bunny's giving a carrot to the snowman for his nose. He's got a little sled down here with
But
carrots.
she has a better habit of choosing a good fabric.
So I chose this. I think I dyed. Yeah, I dyed this myself. I think. It's a light blue. You can't really see it, but I started in the middle. I think
Stand corrected.
with the bunny's ear. But so I just had a very tiny start. I worked on it for, I think, Mania when after I bought it. So I didn't really have a lot of time to work on it. And actually, I was looking. I had this pattern and another Silver Creek Samplers. No, was it Silver Creek? I don't know. I think so. Yeah, in the same project bag, and that one is called Lost and Found. It has a big sheep on the front. And when I looked at it, I thought, I know I started that. What did I do on it? Because it's another light beige color, and there's a line. If you look really closely, you can see the line. But when I first glanced at it, I thought, I don't see anything on there. Did I do anything? Yeah. So this is fortunately a little bit darker. So I'm looking forward to getting to do more of that. And then my other WIP-GO call is this by Collection Shalala, Nuit de Noel. It has a big Santa in the middle, and reindeers and bunnies and birdies and lots of trees and stuff. It's a really cute design, and it's all in French. But so I did just the middle of the Santa, because this is another Mania start. Just has a few lines there. And when I went to look at the project bag that this was in, there were no threads, there were no hoop, there was nothing in there. Just the pattern. And there I don't know if there was even a needle in there. But anyway, that's one of my other WIP-GO pulls. And then I have, as one of my secondary patterns for my WIP-GO calls, this Prairie Schooler Starry Night. And I love this. This is like very much like the Blackwork Angels. It's the same kind of style. And so on my WIP-GO board, I have Starry Night number 2. And they aren't numbered or anything like that, but I thought, okay, just, a second one is what I meant. So I started Mania. This one with Mary and Joseph and the baby and the donkey riding into Bethlehem. And so I think I'm going to do next the one with the donkey and the cow here in the manger. And they're not very big, but they're, but I think in order to do the second one, I have to do more of the first one. This is on 22 count Hardinger, which is basically an Ada. But so I'm doing one thread over one, and I just got a little start on the town of Bethlehem up here. So I'm going to have to at least there's like a backstitch line on the side here. And then there's another like one line of stitches across the bottom. And so I think I'm going to have to do that if I do the second one. Or else I'm going to have to go all the way across the top to do the second one over here. So yeah, I have my work cut out for me. Or I might just change it up and just finish the first one and never mind what the square says. Just work on the first square of this Starry Night pattern. And I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. 7 patterns in that series. So they're really gorgeous. So I do have a pin, a needle stuck in that one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some of that done as well. I think that's me.
Whew. I bought a pattern at the attic, but
What did you buy?
I bought Erica Michaels' Hanukkah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
and it's a berry and a pillow, and I had it over there because I was adding to see if I had threads or whatever. So
Oh,
I need to start that real soon. Because I was thinking about Mark's birthday.
one more thing I forgot. I'm actually working right now on more of the Owl Trio, working on the border. I finished across the bottom, and now I'm working my way up there.
Nice.
And there's still another. When I finish up, then there's another line
I think
of
I'm going to be done with the quilt before you finish that.
stitching around it. So anyway, that's me.
Oh.
I'm finished.
Oh boy.
But that Hanukkah berry, I'd been staring at it for a while for myself. Not that I celebrate Hanukkah, but it is pretty. But I know people that...
I was gonna say, people you know do.
I know people...
I know people.
What?
I said, I know people.
And it's so pretty.
It's beautiful. I loved it. What was I gonna say? Traffic. Yeah. When I was coming here today, I was sitting I got into the turn lane to turn to your neighborhood. Somebody from across the way just started coming. Mm-hmm. They were planning to come sit right in front of me. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, did you not go to driver's ed? Mm-hmm. Like, if you
pass the test,
entering a roadway, you do not have right of way. I don't. So she stopped in the middle of the boulevard. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking, there's cars coming. I'm like, what are you planning to do? And no, you're not coming up here. So then she starts, as she's stuck in, like, across these two lanes, another car comes, into on the road behind her, and then she starts to back up, so that guy has to back up. And I'm just like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I can't watch this anymore.
We are at that shopping center where Fry's is. I always go out on the east side of the parking lot, go down 40th Street, get on the freeway, come up 32nd Street to come home. Now, that's not the way I go there. It's right there. But because the only other exit that I could use that doesn't have a median to block me to, if I wanted to turn left and come back over here, it's so close to the intersection, and it's a busy intersection that
You can't ever get out.
you sit there forever
Yeah.
to get out. It's worse than the one over there at McDonald's. And I've seen so many accidents right around there. And so one day Beth and I are on our way home from something, and a motorcycle just pulls out right in front of us. I had to slam on my brakes or kill the guy.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, if you want to turn left here because you are in so much of a hurry to go home, you're not going to go home if somebody hits you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, at that intersection, coming out of our neighborhood, we're all, you know, cars coming toward us who are turning left are supposed to wait because we have the right of way turning right. And they never ever wait.
Nope.
We come up to the thing and there's somebody there and they turn in front of us all the time. When we're already there, getting ready to turn, have the signal on, waiting for the traffic to clear, and there goes a car from across the way.
And then
And inevitably, even if I turn in the right lane, they try to get over in the right lane in front of me.
Yeah. Instead of turning into the far left. And then also there's a light out on Chandler that it's just flashing red. When it's a flashing red, what
It's a
do you
four-way
do?
stop.
It's like a stop sign, right? So everybody is stopping and going and stopping and going. And there's nobody turning, fortunately, at that intersection. And there were cars in the left lane and in the right lane. And the middle lane was kind of clear because whoever had been there had stopped and went. So then I'm in the left and there's a guy in the right lane and we both stop and start to go because we did our stop like a stop sign. And here in the middle lane comes this dude just going along. I'm like, oh, because so you know, Eli is starting to bike around, so we talk about traffic rules, and I'm like, when it's a flashing red, what do you do? And he goes, you treat it like a stop sign, he said. And then that guy went through, and it's like, or you just go, depending on how important you are.
Well, you know how I like to go
How special you
when
are.
I'm coming home from church. Instead of turning left on Chandler, I don't like turning left on busy roads. I don't. So, and it's not that I can't. It's not that I won't. I just don't like it. If there's another way, I will go the other way.
Don't like that.
So, I just go to the light in front of the school and turn right there.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, it takes a few minutes longer if they're able to get out right away over there on Chandler. I don't care. But that is a three-way stop.
Nobody knows how to do stop signs.
And
And
the cars that are going from Chandler to Chandler. See, when I pull out there, I'm on Ray, but it becomes Chandler, and Chandler becomes Chandler. It's a very stupid intersection. Anyway, the cars that are going on Chandler to turn on to Chandler, they think they don't have to stop because they're not at the stop sign. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's, you know, a curve thing for them.
Isn't that a yield there? Are
Yes.
you talking that?
Yes,
yeah,
it's
you
a
don't have
yield.
to stop at a yield.
And
I
so
got points taken off my driver's license because I did not stop at a yield. And the reason I didn't stop at a yield because there were no cars to yield to. You only have to stop at a yield if there is a car that you must yield to.
right,
To which you must yield.
but nobody does.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
if there's nobody there, you don't have to stop.
Yeah. So yeah, and the reason I'm so hesitant to turn left on Chandler Boulevard is that
You mean across Chandler Boulevard?
yeah,
Yeah.
to cross Chandler Boulevard, turning left at a not light area
Yeah.
is because people think it's a road a drag roadway or something. They are going so fast, and there's a park not very far from here. There's this crowded intersection here. There's a Dutch Brothers and with the apartment complex on the other side that kids may be wanting to cross the street to go to, and I'm like, that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I hear them all the time. And
So-
I contacted Desert Vista, and if I had been able to figure out how to call, rather than just calling the non-emergency, but the Phoenix traffic
Yeah.
thing, there is a bus stop, for the city bus on 32nd Street, right in front of the high school. It is not a stop for parents to drop off their kids.
No.
They're supposed to drop them off in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And
In the back.
there's a light right there. So if people are stopped at the light, kids are getting out of their cars. And then the light changes, and then there's all this traffic stuck there because they're getting out of the car.
The bus stop is further from, and so, like you say, at the light they're getting out. They're getting out in front of the school at the bus stop because their parents are letting them out there, and then they're crossing across traffic to
The
get
cars.
to get into the lane to turn left onto the freeway, right? And that's always a mile long in the morning.
Yeah.
And so they're blocking traffic. We can't go because they're waiting to go into the lane that'll take them to the freeway. And it's like, that's a traffic hazard.
Yeah.
And so I contacted Desert Vista because I remember when Robert was at Mountain Point, which is another high school in the very same general area. People used to try to drop them off on the side of 44th Street, right? And I remember the school sending out stuff going, "Don't stop there. If we see you stopping there, it's going to be a problem." And that's a smaller road and not as much of a traffic hazard, but it still is. And I'm like, if your kid doesn't want to walk, and or they can't take the bus, because they have to live within further than a mile, or they can't take the bus, and you want to take them to school because that is your choice as a parent, leave earlier and go through drop them off where you're supposed to.
Yeah, I'll say the parents don't want the inconvenience of having to turn right and go around.
Well, they don't want to get
school
stuck in that horrible line.
Yeah,
but
and so they have to do all that more convoluted thing than to just drive down the street and let the kid jump out while they're we're sitting at the light
and it's just really, really, really annoying. So the only time that we go out is on Tuesdays when we catch that, and every Tuesday there's somebody doing it when we're there. And
because we were there in the morning.
I just forgot. Oh, talking about people who don't know how traffic works. Every morning, I'm one of the annoying people that drops Eli off. No, it's not a school. At the courthouse, there's
no place to pull over.
Really only one good place. And when they finish fixing the light rail, I may not be able to stop there anymore. I told them we're gonna have to figure something else out. But anyway, it's just on the side. It's kind of between the courthouse and the parking garage, and it's under construction. But the lane kind of has a wide shoulder that it's like a triangle. Anyway, so you can park right there. A lot of people park there. A lot of people stop.
There's parking meters on the other side. I
know, but this is closer to his entrance,
right? But you've got to find one that's open.
Well, yeah. So anyway, it's just where we do it. And the whole thing is torn up because they're putting in the light rail and everything. But so after I drop him off, I go and then I turn on this little street. I don't know what the name of it is. And it's all under construction. And sometimes I can go through all the way to First Street. Sometimes I have to turn north on the little tiny piece of Central and then get onto Jefferson, right? But when I can drive all the way to First Street, there's just a stop sign. And then I have to turn left to go onto First. And right across from that stop sign is an entrance to a big parking garage. And so in the mornings, there's always people coming. They come and they line up to get in. And then often there are people who come south and stop in the turn lane to turn left into the parking garage. because I know the rules of the road, I know that if there's somebody in that
Left
turn
turn
lane,
bay, yeah.
I can't go. And so all the traffic on the right has come, and they're all in there, and there's a girl sitting in a car there, ready to turn left, and she waves at me like, go ahead. And I'm like, no, you go. If you would just go, we'd all get out of here faster. Stop it. I'm not going to go. Well, now, one time there was a cop sitting there, and he didn't have his blinker on, but he was in the turn lane. And the rest of the road is pretty quiet, except for people turning into this thing. There's not like a ton of traffic right there. So he was just sitting in that turn lane, and I'm sitting there dutifully with my blinker on, just waiting, like, what are you doing, sir? And finally he looks at me and he goes, oh, come on. No, so I obeyed him because I figured he was telling me
a reason.
I'm not turning into this garage, And I'm like, okay, if you tell me, but not that chick.
So the other day, Beth and I are traveling down Chandler toward our house, but not near us, way over there. And we come to a light. I am not in the very far right lane. Another vehicle is. And I don't remember if it's a right turn only lane or if I was just in the middle lane or something. But this car wanted to turn right at that light. And there were a lot of cars coming, and we had a red light. There were a lot of cars coming, so the car is just waiting until it's clear to turn right, because there were cars coming. The person behind them is honking and honking and honking because he decided it was clear enough to go. I'm like, there's a whole bunch of cars coming.
You can't see.
And some of them may turn, some of them may not. Some of them may be in the other lane, but you don't know. You don't know, and it's not your decision.
People.
The only time that it's like if you're at a light and you in the middle lane or something, and you can see somebody on their phone. It's like, come on, there's a light. The light is green.
Or if they're
but her light wasn't green.
If they're in the turn bay and there's an arrow and they're just sitting there.
Yeah. But no, that's not what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
you don't get to decide when somebody else has enough time to risk their life or.
I did honk at someone this morning because as I was getting off the freeway, right there at 32nd, it's no turn on red, but then it gives you an arrow, right? A right turn arrow. And so when I pulled up, I see that the light's red, but you can't really see the arrow light until you get up there. So I pulled up, and the guy was just sitting, and there was an arrow, and I'm like, just kind of like, beep, beep. And they woke up and kept driving. But one time I did that, a courtesy beep,
Mm-hmm.
I was at McDonald's, and it was at night, and I was told to go to the waiting thing. And at that McDonald's, the one over by my house, you drive through the whole thing, but the waiting lines are all the way back around the building in the front, by the front doors.
Right.
And so I came up and was coming around that corner, and there was somebody who was there who started to back up, but I was like literally right behind their car. So I did the boop boop, like, hey,
I'm here.
I'm here. And those people did not understand the courtesy beep. They were acting like I had, like I had laid on it. I literally just went doot doot like that, and
they hit your car,
freaked out,
and had to pay for it.
Yeah,
aren't they happy about that?
And I pulled into the car. Of course, I had to pull into the space right next to them.
Right.
And so they're looking at me, ugly face, and they're like, oh, God, and I'm like, okay, you obviously don't get it. That's actually what your horn is for, what I did. Not what you're doing right now.
Well, and that kind of anger over stuff like that is why there's road rage. And it's like, let it go.
Yeah.
Speaking of rage, here in the Metro Phoenix, in East Metro Phoenix, there has been quite a problem of teenagers behaving badly. One young man lost his life due to this, and one had to relocate to, not because they were doing anything bad, but the other people. One had to relocate to Europe or something. Anyway, but it's been all in the news, and it started with bullying at school. So I guess because it's been so much in the news and because they've gotten so violent, a woman, I believe it was in Glendale, but I'm not positive, but it was on the opposite side of town. Her kids had told her that about some other kids bullying them, and they saw them in the park. And there was a whole group of teenagers there, and her kids, for some reason, were not buckled in. So maybe they had been at the park before. I don't know. But she got out of the car and was yelling at those kids. And then she picked up a stick and started chasing one of them with it. And then they started running away.
Adults also behaving badly.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a big story about adults behaving badly in that other thing. Like when the kid died, the kid that actually did it, the father has a lot of money, so he did a lot of bad things to try to keep his kid from getting in trouble. Anyway, what does she do? She jumps in her car, goes up onto the grass in this park, starts chasing the kids down, runs over one kid's foot, and I'm like, lady, and her kids were not belted in, so they're bouncing all over, and so she got arrested. Not only because her kids weren't belted in, but for hurting that kid and for chasing those other kids, right? And it's like, if you expect young people to behave well, you need to behave well.
Reminds me of, there was a Law and Order episode. No, was it Law and Order? Either that or Criminal Intent or one of those things, where these kids were being harassed by other kids, whatever, and I think the one group of kids had like stolen these kids baseball or something, kind of equipment like that or something, and the mother drove her kids to like, she wanted them to stick up for themselves and and not take the bullying or whatever, and I don't know, I think somebody got either assaulted or killed or whatever, so they were the case was that they were prosecuting the mother because it had come out that she had driven her kids to go get involved in this fight or whatever, and it's like, yeah,
unfortunately it happens a lot. I don't understand the mentality. I know you should support your children, and if they do something stupid, perhaps hire a lawyer. But to cover up for them or to try to make there not be any consequences is not doing your child any favors. Because that's not the way the world works. The world does not work where you can behave however you want and there not be any consequences.
It only works for cats.
The
other night.
Yeah.
And professional sports stars.
Yeah. The other night, or not this morning, yesterday morning, I woke up and one of our bathroom cabinet doors was just wide open, and I was like, Hobbs, I know that was you, but I'm not going to be mad because at least it didn't bang all night, because we got the new cabinets in the bathroom, and they have the soft close, and I told Mark, and also in the kitchen, and I'm like, It was worth every penny for every little dime we spent on the remodel to not have cabinet doors that bang.
Yeah.
Because I didn't
They
care.
were probably so sad.
I know. He's like, it's not satisfying anymore. But he's so cute. He stands up and on his little back feet, and he grabs the handle with his front feet, and he walks backwards.
That's
So
how
Mark and I just watch him.
that's what Snug used to do in my apartment in Little Rock. The handles on the cabinets were like, you know, square, like wire, basically. You know, little narrow things. And he would grab them with his paw like this and pull them open. And
But he stands up and walks backwards. So cute.
The worst thing that happened was one evening, I had a plant, in a big pot, and it was a plant I'd had for a long time. I think I had it since graduate school, so like 80 something, 85 is when I graduated. So I'd had it then because one of my roommates had this plant and left it with me. So I kept it, and so I'd had it in my apartment, you know, and so I got Snug. When did I get him? In 2011. So that's how long I had this plant. Longer than
Killed it.
yeah, he did. Because I kept it up on a high shelf up here, and so it had been a while since I'd properly watered it. So I took it down and put it in the kitchen sink, and I had watered it, and I was kind of letting it sit there and sort of absorb the water and stuff. And Snug was over there kind of looking at it, like poking around, and I was like, I chased him off, and I thought, oh, it'll be okay. And in the morning, which was a Sunday morning, I woke up and he had dug in the plant. There was dirt everywhere. There was soil all over the sink and the counters and the floor, all over the floor. And the plant was like pulled out of the pot basically, and like, lying in the.
He murdered your plant.
He did. And
but my point is,
he was lying on the floor. Excuse me. I went to videotape it with my phone, I guess, and I was just like chronicling the devastation. And then he comes in the kitchen and lies on the floor and rolls around on the dirt. I'm like, stop it!
but my point is, with these transgressions, we just let it go.
I always tell the cats, I'm going to beat you with a stick.
But you never.
But I never do.
You never do. You never do.
One
Gosh.
time I came home from work and there was a murder scene in my living room. There was one of Robert's stuffed animals in the living room, which hadn't been there when I left. And I thought at first that someone had shredded, someone being either the cat or the dog, shredded something, and it turned out that they had just taken toilet paper and shredded that. And it was all over the teddy bear and everything, and I was like, really? You have to make it look like a murder? I thought at first that they had destroyed the stuffed animal, but no, it was just toilet paper. Lots of toilet paper.
I have a picture of the boys during the pandemic, because that's when we got them. We got them in May of 2020, and I walked in the bathroom and they were laying on the floor. They're just wrapped in toilet paper. The toilet was all over and out. And I took the picture and I'm like, boys, there's a pandemic. Who is toilet paper? But Hobbs is like obsessed with paper and cardboard and anything. So, we got him. We used to have the feliner diner, and now we have a ice cream truck. Well, it has little awnings on the windows, and he goes, he bites it like a dog, and Mark's like, he's tearing this whole thing up. I'm like,
That's what it's for.
that's his toy. Like, better that than other things in the house. Unlike Calvin, who chews through my umbrella handles.
I had one time, I guess it was before I got Snug. I had a little elephant. It was for like, I don't know, 30 minutes. It was very popular. That they had like pillows and stuff and animals and stuff like that were like a stretchy nylon material, and they were full of styrofoam beads, and so they were soft, they were squishy or whatever. And I had an elephant, and I had, they're in my apartment, and so in those days I had a friend, her son would watch Puck if I was out of town or whatever. So had gone home for Thanksgiving, and so he had come to take care of the cat. And so, I had told him, I'll be back on Sunday night, so you don't have to come on Sunday, And so I got home like 10 o'clock-ish Sunday night, and the elephant was on the floor. There were styrofoam beads all over the floor, and they were everywhere all over my apartment. They were all over the couch and all over they're all over the floor. And there's Puck, and he had them all stuck to his face, and he had it even in the corners of his eyes. It's like, my God. And he had killed the elephant. And so there I was at 10 o'clock at night vacuuming my apartment because I couldn't, leave the styrofoam.
Like well, so we have a cabinet that's like, it's like an Art Deco cabinet, and in our dining room, and the space under it is very small. It's wide enough for a cat arm, but that's about it. Well, Hobbs has been obsessively laying on the floor and getting his arms in there, and like, he must have lost a toy there. Okay, preface this. Long ago, my husband is an oboe player, and he uses beeswax on the thread when he makes reeds. He waxes the thread so it stays on. And he had this precious beeswax, and it went missing. And he's like, it's gone. I don't know what happened to it. I said, I guarantee it's under one of these pieces of furniture, because Hobbs likes to steal things off tables and then play soccer with it and then loses it. And so we'd been looking for it, and he bought some other beeswax on Amazon, but it wasn't good beeswax. So then he had to pay more money for beeswax from some special place.
He should have bought it from a stitching store.
Yeah, but he had to pay more money from some other special place, and now he has good beeswax. So anyway, the other day, Mark was home, and Hobbs was doing that with his arms, and he's like, okay, fine. So he gets this, and he pulls out stuff, and he goes, I found toys, I found, what did he tell me? Like, all these things we had lost over time, and his beeswax was under there. He's like, I just threw it away, though.
It's like that, Cheaper by the Dozen 2, where the rat takes everything into the wall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. Hobbs throws everything under there.
One time, I had made two reeds for one of my students, and I had put them in they come in a little plastic vial. It was what they were in, and I had worked on them and fixed them up, and I was gonna give them to my student. They were for my student, and so I had a little ceramic cup thing that I'd made. I don't know, when I was in college, but I had it on the coffee table in my apartment, and I had put the reeds in there so I wouldn't lose them. And I think I came home from work or something, and they were gone. And so I very quickly had to come up, whip up a couple more for my student, because my student was coming over that night. And so but then I found them under the refrigerator. And actually, when I
make good toys.
When I was moving, I would routinely clean under the refrigerator with a yardstick to get all the cat toys and things like that out. But yeah, I found my reed case, my reed tubes under there. But actually, when I moved out here, I think I forgot to clean under the refrigerator. Oh. I don't know what's under there.
Yeah, we left a bunch of cat toys in there.
Yeah.
Oh
well, we should go.
Yeah, we should go. I have to go figure out my 3 favorite things since obviously I can't make slippers. Maybe next time I'll do that.
But I got a plant when I went.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got a little plant. It was so cute.
And then you killed it.
Oh, of course. Peyton gave me a plant.
Mm-hmm. And you killed it too.
I did. It was beautiful. It was an orchid. It's not for lack of trying. I even told her, I'm sorry, this plant is doomed.
You've given it to a serial killer.
I have my 3 favorite things, but I have to take a dessert.
I gotta take an appetizer, and I'm like, I guess I have to take the one thing. I hope I can eat anything that's there. But anyway, that's right. Well, my name's hyphenated, so I could choose an appetizer or a dessert. So I decided I'll choose the appetizer alphabet. So I got to figure that out too. I'm probably gonna be a dummy and just buy something. But
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm planning to go to the store.
But and I realized also tonight is the music of Queen. It's Phoenix Symphony.
Uh-huh.
So I can't go to that because I'm going to this dinner. But this dinner will be fun. It'll be fun. I was on the fence whether or not I wanted to go to the Queen concert, but I'm sure it's going to be good.
Is Rachel going?
To the dinner? Yeah.
When you were talking about dropping Eli off for work and all that, I remember, I don't know if it was an article in the newspaper or where people were complaining about, people dropping their spouse off for work and stopping to kiss them goodbye or something. And they're like, stop kissing your spouse. You're blocking traffic.
Oh my God. That smacks of bitterness.
What?
That smacks of bitterness. You're just jealous.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
Kiss your spouse at the light or something
gosh.
before you drop them off.
Well, have a good day, a good week, and we'll see you next time. Happy March.
Bye.
Bye.